Hello everyone, my name is Santosh. I live in Switzerland, Basel. Today I'm going to talk about how to get Swiss driving license in first attempt. So when I came to Switzerland, I found out that with your Indian driving license, you can drive for 1 year, and then you can schedule your exam. So you can schedule your exam anytime, but at the max you can drive is for 1 year. So I thought, okay, I don't want to give the exam now. Let me just practice more, and then I'll give my exam. So I spent full 12 months, and before the end of 12 month I scheduled my exam, which gave me another 90 days, and then within 90 days I have to give my exam. So in total, you get 15 months to drive in Switzerland before you need to move to the Swiss license. But 15 months gave me enough time to practice. From Switzerland I went to Paris, I went to Milan, different places with my Indian driving license, and then I drove like 22,000 kilometers in my brand new car that I bought when I came here, and then I scheduled my exam, and then the whole story started. So when I scheduled my exam, since I've already drove like 22,000 kilometers, so I knew the rules and everything. So I said, okay, I think it's easy. I went to a driving school, and then I took 5 classes. The instructor told me a few things. I learned, and then I gave my exam. And when I gave my exam, I miserably failed the exam, and all my confidence and everything got shattered. And then I realized it's not that easy to clear the exam. So the story is about how the learning that I have and how you can use my learning and experience to get your Swiss driving license in the very first attempt. So when I failed the exam, I was really shocked and surprised because I drove 22,000 kilometers, no fine, no speed tickets, no accident. Then how come I failed the exam? In fact, all my friends, they were also surprised that how can Santosh fail the exam when he been driving for last 15 months, but that's what it was. And the most embarrassing part is that once you fail the exam, you can't even drive your car back home. You have to have somebody with you. So at that time there was my instructor with me, so he drove me back. If you don't have instructor, because some people don't come with the instructor, somebody from the family or the friend is there with them. So the one who has a valid driving license, who is with you, will drive you back home. So my instructor was driving me back home, and on the way he was telling me, don't lose heart, it happens. You have four attempts. If you don't clear first attempt, you have a second attempt. If you don't clear, you have a third attempt. The third attempt is only 90 minutes. The first 2 attempts are of between 40 to 45 minutes. If you don't clear third attempt, then there is a psychiatric evaluation that you are mentally sound, and you have to submit that evaluation from the psychiatrist, and then they will give you appointment for the fourth attempt. So I generally asked, I was so disheartened that I asked my instructor, how long you've been training. He said 20 years. I asked, how many people have not cleared the exam in the fourth attempt? He said no one. So I was like, okay, at least in fourth attempt I will clear the exam, but it didn't happen. I cleared the exam in the second attempt. So what are the golden rule? So there are 5 golden rules. The first golden rule is you should practice and give exam in the same car, because when you are using a particular car, your reflexes are set, your indicator and other things, side mirrors, so everything is set. But if you keep changing your car, it takes some time to adjust to the new car, the new setup. So, and especially if you change your car for your exam, and that's not the same car in which you have practiced, then that's not recommended. So if you have a car, well and good, practice in that car and give the exam in that car. But if you don't have a car, you can still rent it out from Mobility, but make sure that you practice in the same car, and when you go for the exam, you go for the exam in the same car, so that your reflexes are set, you're confident, you're confident about the curves, you're confident about how much space it takes, and for parallel parking. So everything is set, so you don't have to learn new thing while you are giving the exam. So same car for practice and same car for the exam. So the rule number 2, you have to read this book, Driving Today. So it has all the rules and the signs that you need to know. All the details are there. So read this book. I read this at least 4 or 5 times and understand all the finer details, all the rules which are there, all the signs which are there, right? So read this book. This is worth spending your money and effort and time. So read this book and know all the rules by heart. When I came to Switzerland, and then I got my car, I read this book, and then I practice. So whatever you learn in the book, you implement it in practice, and then these rules will slowly sink in. So learn all the rules, read this book, and then implement whatever you have learned while you are actually driving the car. And that's really important. At least 4 to 5 times you should read this book. Okay, so rule number 3. Now, when I came to Switzerland, I had my car, so no change of car. I read this book. I drove 22,000 kilometers, no accident, no fines, no speed tickets, anything. But still I failed. So even after following 2 golden rules, if you still fail, then what is missing? What is missing is the finer details. Like when you are approaching a traffic light and it turned red, you have to start slowing down gradually, and when you reach that white line, the vehicle should stop, but not with the brake. It should a smooth stop. When you stop your car, it should move toward left, because on the right you have to give space to the bicycle. When the red light turns green, you let first the cycle go and then you go. So these are very, very finer details that you will not see in the book, right? That's something that you will learn from the driving school. So you have to invest in the driving classes. Here, the driving class instructor will charge you around between 80 to 90 francs per hour for each driving class. So you have to take at least 10 to 15 driving classes. If you're not confident, and if your instructor is not confident, then you go for more classes. I know people who have taken 25-30 classes, and only when they were confident and the instructor was also confident, then you give the exam, because the examiner during the exam will check all these finer details, how much distance you keep between 2 cars on a highway, in the city, whether you are stopping with a sudden brake or it's a smooth brake, and then they will say, yes, you know how to drive. So it's very, very important that you invest money in driving classes. I know it's expensive, because if you take 25-30 classes, you're spending a lot of money, but then you get the license for the whole life. So it's worth the investment, because if you fail, then you have to go through a very long process, and spend money there as well. So it's very important that you invest in good instructor. Take 25 to 30 classes, or as soon as you're confident. So minimum 10 to 15 classes is a must, and learn all these finer details that these Swiss driving examiners will definitely check when you're giving the exam. So please invest, it's not a cost. So when I went to the driving school, I just took 5 classes. I was overconfident. My instructor was not confident that I will clear my exam, but I still went and gave the exam and failed. So it's important that we invest in driving school and then learn all these finer details. And then what we do, what is the 4th golden rule? The 4th golden rule is practice. Practice. You need to practice at least 150 to 200 hours, including the time that you have spent with your instructor with the driving school. So you are practicing all the rules that you have learned in the book. You're practicing all the finer details, so that it's a smooth stop, not a sudden brake, because in my first attempt when I failed, I did a sudden brake and my examiner was not very happy. In fact, one of the things that they will also test during the exam is they will ask you to do a sudden brake, and it's like scratching sound, and you have to stop the car and everything will fall. Yes, so they also check that, but that's part of the exam. But then while you're driving on the city, and when there are people around, there are pedestrian, the bicycle, motorcycle, tram, bus, cars. So you have to be very careful, and then the whole thing is about safety. The whole Swiss driving system is based on safety. The moment you compromise the safety, if a pedestrian want to cross the road and you missed the pedestrian and you went straight away, is end of test. Straight away end of test, because you compromise the safety of the pedestrian. So these are the things that you will learn, but then you have to practice a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So 150 to 200 hours of practice that you need to put in, with all the rules that you've learned from the book, plus all the finer details that you have learned from the instructor. And then once you're confident, and your instructor is confident, also the people on the street who are confident that you drive well, then you're ready to give the exam. So the fifth and the last golden rule, and that's about the day of the exam. Now, on the day of the exam, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. First of all, see, when you're scheduling the exam, make sure that you don't start too early, because that time people are going to office, there is a lot of traffic on the road, and why to take unnecessary risk. So try to schedule your exam after 9:30, because by that time everybody is in office, less traffic on the road. So I think it's better. So timing is really important. It should not be very early. So around 9:30 is a good time to schedule your exam. Second thing, you need to know your car, because the examiner may ask, and in fact they asked me in the second attempt about my car. So they will ask you, okay, what do you do with this button? So you're okay, this is for defogging, and this is for my wiper, this is the indicator, and you have to know everything inside and outside the car. For example, they'll ask you to open the bonnet. If you have not opened the bonnet, the front hood of the car, then you are struggling to find out where this button is to open the bonnet. So that's a really bad thing in front of the examiner. So you have to know inside and outside of the car. So in fact, they will ask you, okay, where you put the engine oil, where will you put a brake oil, where will you put water, how to check the engine oil. So you need to know each and everything about your car. In fact, they can also check and ask you, okay, whether it is a summer tire or a winter tire. So you should know how to find out whether it's a summer or a winter tire. The groove, the thread in the tire should be 1.6 mm. So these are some things that you need to know about your car. That's really important. And the third thing is, when you start the exam, these examiner may try to talk with you, right? So they ask me, oh, where are you from, and where are you working? And for that time, you're trying to focus on the street, on the road, and if you don't reply, you might think that this person might think that this guy is rude, but then try to avoid and just say yes and no, and automatically they will understand. Not all, but there are few examiners, they might try to get into a conversation with you, and then you do a mistake and then they fail you. Well, they have no intention to fail you, but then they want to see how attentive you are, right? So it's very important that you pay attention when the examiner is sitting next to you. This person might just ask you to go in a certain direction. So they will say, okay, go to the city. Now, while you're practicing, you need to know where the city is. So you need to know all the signboards. You need to know how to read the signboard right before the time, not after the signboard has passed, right? So they will also talk in German. Now, it's really important that you know a bit of German. Well, it's not a mandatory thing, but it will help. There are people who have spoken only in English and they cleared the exam, but then if you know a bit of German, like links and rechts and Geradehaus, it will help. So it's very important that if you know a bit of a German, that is really good. And if the examiner don't say anything, then just go straight. Yeah. So if they will ask you, if they want you to go to left or right, then they will tell you left or right. But if they don't say anything, just go straight. Even if there is a roundabout, take the second exit and go straight. So it's really important to follow the signs. It is really important to follow the instruction of the examiner, because let's say if he says take the second exit, and if in the roundabout and you missed the second exit, then they're really not happy, right? So it's important that you follow the instruction of the examiner, you pay attention to the signboards, know bit of German, that helps. And also, most important thing, even if you do a mistake, don't let that mistake trouble you for the rest of the exam duration. Overcome that mistake, have confidence. Even in the second attempt I did a small mistake, but then I didn't got disheartened or got demotivated, and I just kept on with the confidence, and then it was all good. I cleared my exam. So these are few things that you have to keep in mind, and then I'm sure you will clear the exam in your first attempt, and you get the license for whole life. So thank you very much for your time and for your patience. I wish you best of luck. Stay safe. Take care.